Stonehenge. Stonehenge is one of the most puzzling engineering projects of the ancient world. Constructed around 3000 to 2000 BCE, it consists of massive upright sarsen stones, some weighing over 25 tons, arranged in a circular pattern. What makes it extraordinary is not only their size but their origin. The smaller bluestones were transported from the Preseli Hills in Wales, roughly 150 miles away. This was achieved centuries before the invention of the wheel, metal tools, or advanced transport systems. Archaeologists believe the builders may have dragged the stones over land using wooden sledges and rollers, or floated them on rafts along rivers, but none of these methods fully explain the precision and scale. Once moved, the stones were raised vertically by digging deep pits, then topped with horizontal lintels that locked together using mortise and tenon joints, an architectural technique far ahead of its time. Equally remarkable is its astronomical alignment. The central axis of Stonehenge aligns exactly with the sunrise at the summer solstice and the sunset at the winter solstice, indicating a sophisticated knowledge of celestial cycles. This transforms the site into not just a monument, but a functioning solar calendar. The unresolved question remains: how did Neolithic societies with limited technology achieve such accuracy and coordination on a project of this magnitude? Easter Island, Moai. On Rapa Nui, better known as Easter Island, nearly 900 monolithic statues were carved between 1100 and 1600 CE. These figures, called moai, average 13 feet in height and weigh around 14 tons, with the largest exceeding 80 tons. Most were carved from volcanic tuff at the Rano Raraku quarry, yet many were somehow transported several miles across steep, uneven terrain to their final positions. The scale of this achievement is what makes it difficult to explain. Oral traditions claim the statues were walked upright using ropes, rocking side to side like massive stone puppets. Experimental archaeology has shown this is possible with smaller replicas, but scaling the method to statues weighing tens of tons is still debated. Other theories propose wooden sledges or rollers, but evidence of large-scale timber use on the deforested island is scarce. Even more puzzling is the sheer number of statues and the organizational effort required. Constructing, moving, and erecting hundreds of moai would have demanded advanced engineering, coordination, and social structures on a remote island with limited resources. Despite modern cranes and machinery, replicating the process at such scale would still present immense challenges today. Longyu Caves. In Zhejiang, China, 24 enormous underground chambers known as the Longyu Caves were carved directly into solid sandstone more than 2,000 years ago. Each chamber spans thousands of square meters, with ceilings reaching nearly 30 meters high. Collectively, the excavation removed an estimated 1 million cubic meters of rock, an effort that would have required decades of continuous labor. What makes the caves remarkable is their finish. The walls and ceilings are smoothed with near-uniform precision, decorated with dense, symmetrical chisel marks that run in consistent patterns throughout the chambers. Despite their size, the caves show no evidence of collapse or instability, suggesting careful planning of load distribution and support well beyond what ancient engineering is thought to have allowed. Equally puzzling is the historical silence. No ancient texts, records, or inscriptions describe their construction, even though the scale of the project would have demanded massive manpower, resources, and coordination. How builders achieved this without iron tools, advanced surveying equipment, or modern excavation methods remains one of archaeology's most unresolved questions. The Great Pyramids of Giza. Constructed about 4,500 years ago during Egypt's Old Kingdom, the pyramids at Giza remain one of the greatest engineering achievements in human history. The largest, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, originally stood nearly 480 feet tall and required around 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing between 2 and 30 tons, spread across a 13-acre base. Its precision is just as extraordinary as its scale. The sides of the pyramid are aligned to within 0.067 degrees of true north, accuracy that would challenge modern surveyors without advanced equipment. The base is nearly perfectly level, varying less than a few centimeters across its length. Inside, narrow passageways and burial chambers were cut with exact dimensions, their walls fitted so tightly that not even a sheet of paper can slide between some blocks. All of this was achieved without wheels, pulleys, or iron tools. How the ancient Egyptians quarried, transported, and lifted stones of such magnitude is still debated. Ramp theories, sledges, and counterweight systems have been proposed, but none fully account for the precision, scale, and speed required to complete the monument within a single pharaoh's reign, the Uffington White Horse. The Uffington White Horse is a 360-foot chalk geoglyph carved into the hillside of Oxfordshire, England, around 3,000 years ago. Created by cutting deep trenches into the slope and packing them with crushed white chalk, the figure has remained visible for millennia due to continual maintenance by local communities. Without this effort, the design would have quickly eroded or grown over with vegetation. Its construction presents a major puzzle. The horse is proportioned so accurately that its shape is only fully recognizable from above, yet it was designed long before aerial mapping or surveying technology. From ground level, the figure appears distorted, suggesting that the builders deliberately engineered it for long distance or elevated viewing. The geoglyph's persistence also raises questions about prehistoric organization. For thousands of years, communities returned to clean, re-chalk, and preserve the figure, indicating that it held lasting cultural or ritual significance. How Bronze Age builders planned and maintained such a large and visually precise landmark remains one of the most intriguing unsolved problems in ancient engineering. Puma Punku. Puma Punku, part of the Tiwanaku complex in Bolivia and dated to around 500 to 600 CE, is one of the most enigmatic megalithic sites in the world. The platform and surrounding structures are built from massive andesite and sandstone blocks, some weighing over 130 tons. What sets Puma Punku apart is the extraordinary precision of its stonework. Many blocks feature perfectly straight cuts, interlocking joints, and geometric patterns with tolerances measured in millimeters. Some stones even contain drill-like holes and complex recesses that resemble the output of modern machine tools, despite the Tiwanaku people having no access to metal chisels or advanced cutting technology. The challenge extends to transport. These megaliths were quarried miles from the site, yet Tiwanaku builders had no wheels, no draft animals, and limited leverage systems. Moving and positioning stones of this magnitude would require coordinated engineering techniques that remain unexplained. The combination of scale, accuracy, and logistics makes Puma Punku one of the most difficult ancient sites to account for using known pre-Columbian technology. Göbekli Tepe. Göbekli Tepe, located in southeastern Turkey, dates back to around 9,600 BCE, making it over 7,000 years older than Stonehenge. The site consists of circular and oval enclosures containing massive T-shaped limestone pillars, some weighing up to 20 tons and standing over 5 meters tall. These pillars are arranged in pairs and often positioned with remarkable symmetry. What makes Göbekli Tepe unique is not only the size of its architecture but also its decoration. Many of the pillars are carved with intricate reliefs of animals, abstract symbols, and human figures, indicating symbolic or ritual meaning. The scale and artistry suggest a high degree of planning and communal effort. The greatest puzzle is its age. Built long before the development of agriculture, pottery, or permanent settlements, it implies that complex social organization and monumental construction existed far earlier than traditionally believed. This challenges the long-held assumption that farming and stable food supplies were prerequisites for large-scale religious or architectural projects. Göbekli Tepe forces a reconsideration of how and when human civilization began. Nan Madol. Nan Madol, located in Micronesia and dating to around 1200 CE, is the ruined capital of the Saudeleur dynasty. The site consists of more than 90 artificial islets built across a network of tidal channels, which is why it is often called the Venice of the Pacific. The islets were constructed using enormous basalt logs, columnar formations, naturally occurring in volcanic rock, stacked horizontally like giant beams. In total, the site incorporates an estimated 250 million tons of stone, with individual pieces weighing up to 50 tons each. The engineering challenges are considerable. The basalt had to be quarried on Pohnpei Island and then transported over water to the construction site without the aid of pulleys, cranes, or wheeled vehicles. Once delivered, the blocks were precisely positioned to form walls, foundations, and elevated platforms that remain standing despite centuries of exposure to ocean tides. The core mystery is how a relatively small and isolated island society managed the logistics of moving and assembling such immense volumes of stone. Nan Madol demonstrates a level of organization and architectural ambition far beyond what is typically associated with Pacific Island cultures of the period, raising unresolved questions about both technique and social structure.